And we're live. How we doing, guys? Hope you're all well. You bear with us a moment. Let's see if we can get ourselves set up. Both me and Russ were meant to come on a bit early tonight, discuss the show, what we're going to talk about, and I completely lost track of time. I've just got on myself, so I'm a little bit behind trying to set things up. But we've got a good show tonight. A very interesting show. Can't wait to get it started. As soon as I can find us on Facebook. Hope you're all wrapped up warm. Ready for the cold snap that's coming in. Soon be summer. Oh, here we go. Blimey, I've actually found it. And we are good to go. Turn that down. Hi, Maz. Maz is in already. Hope you're well. Only a couple of weeks, Maz, and we're meeting up again. I believe.
What
I think he's got lost on the way. Here he comes.
No, I haven't. I forgot a drink.
Keep yourself hydrated.
Yeah, I've got to keep myself hydrated, haven't I? How do I forget a drink? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Oh, God. Here we go. Right. Let's go. Right. I've got to just check if Philip is still on air. If not, we'll go. Yeah. So Philip is just still on air for a minute. So we'll just hold fire just for a minute. We have got a special. Are we live? Have we got our notifications come through? That's what I want to know.
No notification, mate, but I did manage to find it.
Oh no, I've got a notification. No. How do I share it though? Have you noticed Facebook has gone absolutely crazy with absolute crap at the moment?
Yeah, I very rarely get to see anything that I'm actually following nowadays on Facebook.
I know it's
all reels and nonsense like that, isn't it?
Hold on, I've got to do it to that one. How do I do that as well though? Go to there. You know, where I want to share it to, I can never share it. No, it's not going to let me have it, are you, tonight? Can I share it to something? Which is crazy. Sorry, guys, I'll be with you in a minute. I'm just trying to share all the live feeds out. I've lost it now. That's stupid, isn't it? And it's stupid. Right, share to a feed. That's what I want. That one. That's what I want. Hello, everybody. We've got comments already coming in. Hello. Who needs notification? We know it's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. It's the place to be. Right. Let's go live. Let's go live. Is everybody ready?
Go, go, go.
It's now time for you to sit back and chill and relax. Let your mind relax the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. Let Ross hold tight on journey to the unexplained.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained, live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, we are live. It is the 6th of February 2025. I think I've pressed all the right buttons. I think we're on air. Good evening, Mr. Paranormal Paul.
Good evening. How are we doing? All good?
All good in the hood. I just want to say thank you to the lovely Philip Solomon that has taken us through the last hour over on Pulse Talk Radio. I never managed to get a listen to him today, unfortunately. I always do catch up, so I always like to listen back after that. So, how are we doing, Mr. Paul?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm all good, to be fair. I'm all good. Busy, but I'm all
No
good.
moans?
No moans.
No groans?
No groans.
That's
It's
what I
all
like.
good.
That's what I like to hear. Well, it is the 6th of February, and we are going to be joined by a very special guest this week, aren't we, Mr. Paul?
Yes.
We've been looking forward to this for a very long time. Not to say it's been a long time in the making, because it hasn't. This is one of our lovely guests that always will listen to us weekly on the paranormal. On this, you know what? I went to say the paranormal EGH show then for some strange reason, and I have no reason why. But we are going to be joined by the wonderful Heidi Hansen, a fantastic author, and it's been well asked for in the chat over the last few weeks. So you know what? There's no better time to just introduce the lovely Heidi Hansen.
Hello, guys.
How are we doing, Heidi?
So happy to be here. Okay. And hi, everyone out there.
Welcome to the EGH. I've done it again.
Yeah, you did.
What's going on with me tonight?
Journey through the unexplained, Russ.
Thank you, Paul.
How many years have I been doing it? How many times? I don't even get me words jangled up. We don't even at the moment, we don't even do the EGH Paranormal Talk show. So how am I even getting it mixed up is totally on me. Heidi, welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained. I feel like I should
so much.
start again. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. How are you anyway, Heidi?
Oh, thank you. I'm fantastic. So much had happened in my life since I was on your station for almost what it is now, back into 21, I think it was February 21, wasn't it? That was my very first one, indeed. Yeah.
It was your very first interview, if I remember rightly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was my very first one. So,
Wow.
And I remember you also did that mistake when I was on the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. I remember that. You twisted back then, and then you said Journey Through the Unexplained.
You're to blame then. Simple as.
Sorry about that.
You just give me an easy excuse out on that one. You're to blame on that one, Heidi.
I have to be. Yeah.
So everything is good. I know you've sort of had a sort of an eventful few years, haven't you, to say the least?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both health, but also work, but absolutely also all the experiences I have had over the few years that has been gone since then. So much has happened. It's very overwhelming, and I'm so happy to share some of them with you tonight as well. So yeah.
You know that we're happy to have you on. So guys, for everybody in the chat, get ready for your questions. Sit back, get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be Heidi has a very wide scope of activity around her, from paranormal, as in the ghost side of things, but very much so you're very connected to the UFO and extraterrestrials side of things, aren't you, Heidi?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
So there's no better way to start off with. I say we've got a few stories that we've sort of picked out that we would like you to sort of delve into and let the viewers know. So it's all I'll start off with by saying, an alien saved our lives in Copenhagen in January 23.
Yeah, that one was absolutely a fantastic one, because it was mind blowing. And my son was really happy that I wanted to share this one with you tonight, guys. And I would love to talk about it because that is very rare. And I've heard of others that have been saved by aliens as well. And this time it was me and my son, actually. And what happened was we were to move out of Copenhagen to a small harbor town on the 31 of January 23. And this, what happened was, it was during the night between the 30th and the 31 of January when this happened, okay? And all we had, all our furnitures, all our stuff was gathered in the living room. Everything was there. We emptied the room of my son, and my son and I, we were to sleep in my bedroom because we had to sleep on the floor. Everything was moved out of that. So the rest of it was in the living room put at that time, right? So what happened was in the middle of the night, I think it was around 3:30 in the morning, when I heard a bump. I was woken up by the noise. It was a bump coming from the living room. But I was a little sleepy and I was almost falling back to sleep again. But I've also I felt a presence, not a ghost, but I felt like there was an alien present. But I was very tired, so I felt almost asleep. But something happened, and this invisible, he was invisible. I couldn't see him with my eyes, but I felt him. Okay. Then suddenly he started to say something out loud as he was standing just right beside me to make sure that I woke up entirely, And he spoke in a language that I knew is not from this earth. So I thought, oh my God, you are present. You are right here beside me. I was really overwhelmed by it as well. And the feeling inside of me, I felt danger, but not danger towards the aliens. I know I had to act accordingly to the feeling I had inside of me. So I got on my feet and walked into the living room because there must be something going on in there. And I think that was the alien wanted me to do so. That was the feeling I got from the alien. And when I came into the living room, I saw lights on one of the bags. And I wondered if it was light coming from outside, shining upon the back. It was a moonlight, so it was a clear night. So it could have been that, but it wasn't. So I understand suddenly that it was light coming from this bag. And I walked to the bag, and I could feel the bag was very warm from the light that was shining from inside. So whatever that had caused the light to switch on, I don't know, but it could have happened during while we moved around the things, but it could also be while the bump was happening, what I heard during the night, right? And then I realized in that moment, I actually realized it could have caught fire. It was already so warm, and you could smell the burning sensation from the plastic bag.
Mm.
And all that was scattered in the living room and what was in the plastic bag beside the light that was shining, that could have caused enormous fire, guys. So I was truly grateful. Of course, I switched off the light immediately, opened the bag so the air could get in there and so it could cool off. So I was truly grateful for the alien that woke me up, really woke me up, and made me walk into the room so I could prevent that fire from starting. It could have been disastrous, guys. It was truly
Yeah.
amazing. And I know, guys, it wasn't no ghost, it was no demon, it was no angels, it was an alien doing this for us. That was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely story. It really is, and it's just a heartfelt story as well because we
Yeah.
know that they're there for us. Is I do have a question. I do have a
Yeah.
question.
Do
Okay, and
please.
there was when you sort of started your story, you said you knew what it was. You didn't think it was a ghost. You didn't think it was spirit,
Exactly.
or but you sort of knew it was ET. So
Yeah.
my question there, Heidi, is how is the difference there? How do you feel the difference? How is it just a knowing, or is it a vibration, or is it a sense, or because it's look, please don't think I'm trying to catch you out, because it's
No,
not
it's
what I'm
okay.
trying to do, because I have the same sort of, experiences, so to speak, and when you walk
Yeah,
around and do the ghost hunts and things like that.
yeah.
So you've got a hello from Fred.
Hello, Fred. Oh my God, Fred from the United States. Hello,
Yeah.
Fred. Hope you're doing right. Okay.
So yeah, I was just wondering if you sort of what your difference is, or
Well, what happened was, well, when I feel it, I just know it. I can't explain how I know it, because I also know it when it's a ghost. The kind of feeling that I have, it's an inner knowing. And that's what's happened with all my things in my life. I always know what it is that is in front of me, even if it's a demon, or if it's an angel, even if it's a ghost, or it's an extraterrestrial. I can feel it and I know it inside of me. It's like I recognized it somehow. It's a feeling that I have since I was born, actually. So I have always known for a fact what it was. And in this case, with the alien, he also spoke in a language that I did not understand, because he reminded me, of the Star Wars movies, right?
yeah,
When he tried to when he communicated with me, it was like a clicking sound he did with his mouth. Yeah, like that. I can't explain it, but if you think about it, you can remember Klingon on Star Wars, right?
yeah,
That was the kind of language that came to me. He could easily have spoken English to me, because aliens today are speaking English to me when I talk to them. But this one did it like that. I think he did it just to make sure that I will wake up totally. So he made me get up on my feet, even though I was so sleepy. So I'm lucky he did that. But the feeling inside of me, I can't say that. I just know inside of me what's in front of me. Okay. I know that some people talk about different frequencies, and it can be different frequencies. I think that is different frequencies, but I just know that. I have the feeling that this frequency is an alien, and this frequency is a ghost, and this frequency is God. Okay. This is how I feel things inside of me, and I have done so since I was a baby. So how can I? It's very difficult to explain when you have that already from childhood, right? But it is like I just know it inside of me. I know
Yeah,
it.
I think you
Oh,
explained it quite well, to be fair, because
yeah,
I literally wrote down exactly that. How do you
yeah,
tell the difference?
yeah,
And yeah, no, easier. I totally get where you're coming from there. Different
yeah.
frequencies, different
It's
feelings.
frequencies, yes.
Mm.
Yeah,
it's fascinating just to listen to the stories. It is, they're not even stories, are they? They're experiences.
yes. That's
Um,
experiences,
they're
exactly.
just really in depth experiences, and it must be quite comforting to know that potentially spirits got your back.
Yeah,
We know that you're a strong believer in God, or a God of
yes,
some form, and
yes,
now we've got extraterrestrials that are now got your back. You
yes.
must feel immortal at some point, Heidi.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, I would
I'm
walk around
happy,
doing it for everybody. I really would.
Yeah. I am happy they are there for me, all of them. So, yeah.
I
I
just
have
think
often, I can tell you, I often experience it, if I may. I often experience it when I'm out walking. Also, if it's late, or, I'm out walking with my son, sometimes we see the aliens walk beside us. They follow us no matter where we go. So they are looking out for us. I have always thought of aliens like that. They are very caring. They make sure to help you. I think of them of like nurses, like doctors, like people who care for you, people who look out for you. Okay, that's my experience with the aliens. I can tell you
Does,
that.
does
Yeah,
your son experience the same as you?
yeah.
Like you said,
He
you
also
have this.
experienced things. Yeah, he also experienced things with aliens and with God and everything. He's much like me, and even more actually, even
wow.
more than me. Yeah, he
Um,
is.
I was going to ask the same question there, Paul. Actually,
Yeah.
I was, but I just wanted to. I can't remember how I was going to phrase that. Now, when you talk about seeing aliens, we've had a question come in from Lee, so I'm going to put that up on the
Yeah.
screen in a minute, and
Yeah.
he'll fire it across in a minute. When you see these aliens and you describe them, are you seeing them with, you know, what as a spiritualist medium would call your third, you know, your spiritual eye, your third eye, or are you seeing them sort of along the lines of like yourself, you know, if you'd see a physical human being?
Yeah. I see it like I see you, and I see Paul. I see the aliens like that, and I see God like that, and I see aliens like that. All entities I've met so far, I see them clear as day. Okay. Um, and why I do it, I can't explain that. I'm just happy that I see them. Yeah.
See, many questions
Yeah.
go through my head there, because have you ever tried to, you know, reach out and touch one of these? Have you, you know, have you felt as in a human feel of, you know, like, that's just how my brain works. So please don't think I'm trying to catch you out. That's
No,
not what I'm
no,
trying to. It's
it's
just
okay.
my
Yeah.
imagination running
Yeah.
wild on, like,
No
you know,
worries.
if you,
Well, what I can tell you with the ghost, let's take that because what I remember that when I was in Deal Castle with you guys
yeah,
back in 22, right? That's someone 22. This was absolutely mind blowing for me because I have often seen and talked to ghosts, but in that castle, I actually experienced when I entered the room, they touched my energy. I could feel them touch my arms, and I felt it like electricity going through my body, and it was full of love, the feeling of love. Actually, it was mind blowing. So every time I was touched on the arm, whatever, I said, "Hi," I did it just automatically. "Hi, you're there." You know, it was mind blowing to experience. And when I do that, I have never done it with aliens. That I will tell you, not yet, because they are taking what you call baby steps towards me because they look so different than we do, right? It's I don't know. It's easier for me to have a ghost coming towards me because I have done I have done that for many years now. The alien has become more intense over the last 5 years. It has really intensified with the aliens contact, and baby steps because they are showing themselves more and more to me. They are showing themselves more and more how they look like, and not so you see it on another level or what you call it, but when you see them standing in front of you, you see them as they are. As the one, you remember the one I had with the experience with the alien that stood right in front of me in daylight in Copenhagen? That was the one, you know, with the little fluffy sky, was cloud in the sky. When I saw that UFO collide, all was shut down. When I saw the alien, he came and stood right in front of me, so I had to make a full stop. Otherwise, I was walking directly into the alien, and he was just pointing towards the sky. You know, you remember that one, Russ?
yeah.
I was pointing towards the sky, you know, and he did that and pointed towards the sky, and I felt this sorrow in my heart because I could see the alien was burning inside, so he was dying. And when he was gone like that, I could feel that it felt like I lost a family member. But does that make sense? It was
Yeah.
feeling like I lost a family member. Like when you're also losing a dog or losing a family member, you feel that sadness in your heart. And so I had that with that alien, and that happened in Copenhagen. But they're taking baby steps because it gave me a shock back then because he stood right in front of me. I saw him clear as day. So now I'm much more into it. I was on the balcony in where I lived in the harbor town. They came to my balcony. I could walk out on the balcony and talk to them. They came down and they also left from the balcony. I could see all of that happening as well. So today they can walk inside my room and I will see, hello, come inside. That I can today. This is how it has um, evolved, right? Yeah.
Over the
I
last
know it
five
sounds
years.
crazy, guys,
No,
but
no, no. Do you know what? When you saying that, so am I getting this right? So the alien that stood in front of you, it wasn't
yeah,
the physical alien. It was the spirit of the alien that was in the ship. That
what I can tell you, it looks, Paul, it looks like he was standing right in front of me, like I see you. He stood there right in front of me in broad daylight, as he
yeah,
looked like, truly looked like, but he was dying. So yeah, I think he just wanted to show me I'm on board on that, but I'm
yeah.
dying.
That's what I
That's
meant.
what he did. Yeah, that's correct, Paul. That's correct.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah,
Because you get that a lot with spirit energies as well, don't you? You know,
yeah,
if
I do.
the spirit's
Exactly.
passing, sometimes they show themselves to their loved one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
that is a sad story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey has joined us as well tonight.
Hello,
Mickey.
Mickey.
Right, and a question has come in from Lee.
Hello,
So I'll let
Lee.
you read it, Heidi.
Oh, let's see. Question, and this is just how my mind works. When we die as humans, we go to the spiritual world, if you like. When an alien dies, if they die, do they connect in with our spiritual world or their own? And then is there different methods to connect with a deceased alien? Well, I haven't connected with deceased alien as such, but I had that experience with the one in Copenhagen, right? But I can tell you, Lee, we all come from the same energy. We all are from the same world. So there's no difference from when they die as we die, okay? And they go to spiritual world like we do. And we meet all over the place. It's we are all from the same energy. So, but it's not two or three different worlds. No, we are on the same level, every one of us. All entities, all beings out there in the world and beyond, we are together. We come from the same energy, that same frequency that I call God. And that is what I have experienced so far. There's no difference in that. Okay. Hope that was good enough.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Lee is really interested in everything.
No worries.
I speak to Lee quite often, so he will probably have another question backing onto that, but we should wait
Mhm.
for that to come through.
No worries.
Right, so let's move on to the two stories that really like pricked my ears up when you
Yeah.
sent through sort of um your sort of running sheet of what you would like to talk about, so to speak. And we can go to back with them really because they're both sort of linked in a way. And you put lady slash reptilian
Yeah.
walking the family dog. So
Exactly.
I'll hand that over to you on that one.
I would love to share that with you guys. I also did that back in 21, but this one is a story that, not a story, an experience that will follow me to the day I die. Okay. I was out walking the family dog, and the family dog is called Lady. Okay, I was approximately around 7, 8, 9, or 10 years old at the time. I can't remember exactly, but I can tell you I lived in the same harbor town I moved to in 23, and we lived very close to a hill there, and that's the area I walked the little dog. Okay, and this was in the beginning of the 1970s. It was. And the experience I had with the lady was actually very scary. Okay, at a point, we were out walking and we reached that hill, the Goblin Mound, as I call it, when suddenly lady started growling and whining on the same time, putting her tails between the legs, walking backwards and hiding behind me. When a dog do that, that is very unusual, right? Because dogs, cats, they can feel something before we can as humans, right? So she had to be very scared about something. Okay. Back then I couldn't see anything, but I felt a presence that gave me the chills, and I could feel the fear inside of me. It was whatever was present right before me. I couldn't see it, but I had that feeling I had to look upwards because it had to be a tall entity standing in front of me, and I could smell some kind of gas coming towards me. When that happened, lady tore herself, out of her leash and began run down the street with me right behind her. I can tell you that. I was scared too, but I was also scared about losing the dog, of course. So I called her all what I could, and finally, lady stopped and returned to me, still with her tail between her legs. She was really afraid, and my heart was pounding. And when looking back, over my shoulder, I knew we had to pass that same spot again to get home safely. Remember, I was only 7, 8, 9 years old, only a child, so I was scared. Okay. So there were no people present, not even a car, came by. And well, in the end, I got hold of my feelings and started to walk towards the spot with Lady. And when we passed that spot, Lady again walked around me and away from what it was. And when she did that, I can tell you, we ran all the way home because then I knew this entity was still there. So, what I did later in life about this situation was because I think God prevented me for seeing what was right in front of me. I think I wasn't old enough to understand what kind of entity it was. And I think I would die of shock if I saw it as I have seen it today. When I use the remote viewing, I can go back and see every detail in the experiences. And then this time I was allowed to see the entity. And it was this back then, it was a reptilian. I could see that it's kind of lizard standing on two legs with long arms, the same features like alien, kind of, but have shields like fish on the skin, the yellow eyes with the black dot in the middle of it. I was no doubt this was a reptilian, but that I learned later in life that it was okay. If I had seen that one back then, oh my God, guys, yeah, I would have died. I think so. Or it would have eaten me. I don't know. I don't know much about reptilians. I just know it scared me. Okay. And yeah, I can sort of tell you because if I can, I will lead to the other story or experience immediately because that changed a bit about the reptilian, how I see and reptilian. So I will take that immediately. And this was actually during the 15 or no, 14 or 15 of July 23 that I actually again experienced something quite extraordinary. And it was around, I think, 1:30 during the night. Okay. I was arriving home on the 14th late in the evening after a fantastic day at work, and I was also out celebrating my sister's daughter's boyfriend's 30th birthday because he turned 30 on the 16th of July. And my son and I, we were actually walked home from the station at around 11:05 p.m. that evening. So there were little people there. There was some few cars, on the street, and it was quite very quiet, and it was a very warm evening, and just a little breeze actually to cool us down. So it was a lovely evening for a stroll, walking home. Okay, and while we were walking there, suddenly loads of frogs were singing out into the night. There was no pond there, so where did they come from? And both me and my son, we stood, what was that? Why did the frogs react like that? And it was loads of them, okay? Because what we could see was just a field, no lake or something like that, okay? And then we came to the road that was leading home to us where we lived. And after walking a short distance, I could actually hear footsteps behind us. And I stopped several times, looked back just to see what it was. There was nothing to say. I can tell you, if there was someone there, they couldn't hide because there were bushes like very close, tight together, all the way round along the street. Okay, so the person that was walking behind us had to be invisible, but I could hear every footstep. So every time we started to walk, I could hear the footstep again behind me. And my son recognized it and said, "Oh, mom, you scare yourself. You scare yourself out of your senses." I said, "Yeah, I think you're right, but I can hear it." I said, "Oh, I know, mom. You have that kind of, that sensitivity." He's calling that. You can feel it or you can hear it. Yes, exactly. Say, this is something special. Say, there's something walking behind us, following us. Okay. So I came home. When we came home, I opened the balcony door. The curtains were down, and I sat in the living room. I didn't want to go to sleep. So I started to write on my computer messages and everything, looking into my book that I was writing at the time. And, then I heard something, I heard noises on the balcony. And I asked my Stefan, my son came to the door as well to hear it because he also heard the footsteps and we heard it twice while we were standing there, and looking for what it could be that was out there. When we walked back into the apartment, I closed the door. No, that's when I, sorry, wrote down the curtains. That's right. Oh, and then I sat at the table again with my computer and something happened. Suddenly, I heard something on the balcony, a sound that made my blood freeze in my veins. I can tell you that. That sound was an animal sound. And it was quite, you hear that kind of sounds in the woods. Many people hear it all over the world at the moment. In the woods, you can hear a freezing scream or kind of entity that says something out loud, kindly animal sound. I can't tell you what it was. It was when it happened, I could feel it through my bones. Okay, and it got to me. I was actually scared. I said, "Stefan, did you hear that?" I literally ran into it. "Stefan, did you hear that?" Because it was really loud, as if why did you lock the door, right? That kind of feeling I got. How dare you lock the door for me, But I didn't do anything about it. Okay, so I didn't write that down, but this is something that happened in that night. Okay, so what I did next morning, I knew that was something terrible, and I thought about it, what it could be, because I haven't heard that sound before, because it was that extreme, I would call it. Then I can tell you the next day, I have up the curtains, the door was open again on the balcony, and I was sitting at the table again, writing, and then I could feel it. I was so sure that something stood there, just, very close to me and looking at me. And I could feel it. And I said, "Oh, are you here to hurt me? Are you here to scare me? What are you doing here in my apartment? Why are you here in my apartment? Because am I scared when I see you? Because I would love to see how you look like." That I said to the entity standing there. And then he showed himself. Then I could see it looked like the reptilian from back then. "Oh, I see that. Now I understand why you wouldn't show yourself. I know what you are. So it's a reptilian." But again, I said, why are you here?" And then he said to me, "Teaching." "Teaching," I said. Okay, I was wondering about that, because what could I teach? Was it something I could learn? I think it goes both ways when something like that happens, right? And suddenly, God whispered in my ear, "Heidi, you need to pray your usual prayers you do every morning," he said. "Just start doing that." Okay, I said. When God says something like that to me, I do it immediately. So I started to pray my prayers I do every morning. And I just continued until I was finished. And when I was finished with that, I just stopped. And the reptilian looked at me, just nodded like that. And then he left the room again, left the apartment. I was truly flabbergasted about that. He wasn't there to hurt me. He was there to learn why we humans are protected and how we are protected. And that was the prayer to God. That's actually the other one. So I got another look at that reptilian, so I don't see him like a negative thing. They are there, just like the Greys are there, and other things are there. So, and like we are there, right? And they are good or bad, no matter where we are in life. That's the yin and yang, right?
Was you frightened when he showed himself to you, though, after knowing that first experience when you was a child?
Yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't. I could
Mm.
feel it. There was something in the feeling that was a little bit scaring me. But when he showed himself, when I saw his face, because he started only to do the here so I can see his face, I recognized the yellow eyes, the dots and everything, the shield and on the skin and everything. I said, oh my God, you are a reptilian. I just
Hmm.
knew he was the reptilian. But I don't know if it was the same one from back then, but he looked like the same one. That's the only thing I can say, right? Yeah.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
before we go on to sort of questions based on that,
Yeah.
Heidi,
Yeah.
Joe has joined us for the night.
Yeah. Hello, Joe.
You've got Sandra's also
Hello,
joined us
Sandra.
as well. So,
Yeah.
welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. I've got loads of questions on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw me sort of writing questions down. I know Leah's put a couple of questions up there as well. So
Yeah.
we'll come to Lee's questions in a minute. Guys, if you've got any questions as well that you want to ask Heidi, please pop them in the chat. Paul, have you got any questions based on that one?
Now you fire away, mate.
Right. Questions. You said when there was one when you I think I just remember if it was story 1 or 2 where we linked them. The when you were 7, I think it was, and you said you couldn't necessarily see it, you just
Yeah.
felt it.
Mm.
So how do you think that potentially works? Do you think it's a shape shifting type of do reptilians shapeshift, or do you think it's some form of cloaking device they have to stop you from seeing it potentially?
No, I think what happened was when I was that young, because I think it would have scared me to death if I saw it back then, because I just was a little girl back then. Okay, I think God prevented the entity to show itself to me. I think I was protected, and that's why I escaped, got away from it, right? Whatever it wanted to do to me, I don't know, because the gas that I smelled wasn't a good sign. I can tell you that. I have another friend who experienced the same thing, and that was also a reptilian, about the same, also gas-like thing. So I know another woman that experienced the same thing as well, as she's a well-known person in the UFO area. I can tell you that. And we have talked about this one as well. I think it's because God protected me for seeing it. Because you know how I would have reacted. And because I have learned so much over the years, I was ready for this one, the next one that came. So, and I could, but the energy, the frequency on that one was quite a little bit different than the other aliens I see. I could feel there was more animal-like fear coming, or it gave me fear feeling. That's what I can explain. But of course, I think the reptilian is a little more animal-like, more can attack. I think is the feeling I have about the reptilians. But I think I got this to say why we are protected, and that's why the teaching took place. The reptilian learned from that, and I learned from that. It was actually a fantastic experience I had there, because just to experience that God was whispering in your ear, pray your prayers you normally do, and that was the teaching, just to show how we people are protected from stuff like that. Yeah. Was that an answer? Or I hope it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
I'm trying to.
I guess it's not about answering it directly that I want an
No.
answer. It's just more of what questions that come into my mind when they're sort of
Yeah.
just listening along, because I've also sort of wrote down a sort of different side of reptilians, because
Yeah.
the conspiracy or the living agenda with Reptilian Nation is that they are some kind of, hybrid human. You know, we are maybe sort of interbred or something along them sort of lines with the human race.
Yeah.
And that was that was sort of where I was sort of heading towards, like, are they a part of us? Is this why we can, are they still on this planet? Are they from a different planet? Were they here before us? Have we invaded their territory? And is that why they maybe get such a bad rep in the you know the UFO field because
Yeah.
of, you know, they, you know, if they're defending their planet, so to speak, if
Yeah.
they were here before us and we've outcast them or sort of made them go underground, so when they do show themselves, they're gonna, as you say, you feel they could attack.
Yeah.
You know, if this is the case, you almost feel they've got a right to attack if we've stepped on their land, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard that they have been here for a very long time, the reptilians actually. They're also belonging to another planet, but they have been here for thousands and thousands of years. That's correct. They have been here maybe even longer than we have ever existed. So we are the ones walking into their territory. But that's just my view. This is only my point of view. I can't tell 100% if it is like that. Okay, I can tell you just knowing that they have been here for a long time. I know the Greys have been here for a very long time, living in underground volcanoes, in caves in the mountains and far out in the Siberia and wherever, where we humans have actually, where we normally do not come out. Okay, where we had it's very difficult for us to get there. Okay, and that's where they are hiding, that's where they are, and that's why the aliens show me things that I can see they actually are here on Earth. Okay, and where they can be found also
Maybe
underwater. Yeah.
maybe that's what he meant by teach, because he'd been
Yeah.
there. So maybe he was here to see how we have evolved. Are we ready to accept them?
Yeah.
You know, like you said
Yeah.
earlier, that
Yeah.
the activity in your life seems to have ramped up in the last 5 years, but it seems to have ramped
Absolutely.
up worldwide in the last 5 years.
Exactly.
Maybe
Exactly.
there's a transition coming.
Yeah, I think so, because we as humans are truly developing at the moment. So much is happening for all of us, and you can feel the energy around us. There's so much happening to every
Yeah,
one of us. So
I
you
think
can
it would be
feel.
more
Mm,
accepted now if they do
yeah,
show.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
We've got some, you know, they invaded this planet, Joe said, and just like you said, just there was something you just said there, Paul, and just sort of along the same sort of lines. Joe said they'll be leaving soon.
yeah,
So it was something that you said that coincided, but I can't remember what you said. I'd have to go back and watch it. But you sort of
yeah,
said there's change or something. And
yeah,
Joe, as soon as literally you said that, and at the same time this popped up.
yeah,
A bit weird.
yeah,
Got quite a few questions coming in, so
yeah,
I'm going to go up the list rather than down the list.
yeah,
I'll just better put this. Hold on. They're the ones that created this prison planet, but they'll be going to lose very soon. Things are about to change massively. But we've got Heidi Hi. Do you believe they're from out of space, or do you believe they're from beyond the ice wall?
oh, I like it.
I don't know much about the ice wall, but I can tell you that no matter what kind of being it is, they have all been here, no matter where we are in the solar system. Okay. We are here on this beautiful earth, what we call both the sorrow and the beautiful earth, because we are evolving here, and so are they. They are also visiting us, coming here to evolve as well. The Greys are here to help us do it because they are much more advanced than we are. But the reptilians, I can't talk much about that. I can only talk from the experience I have, so I can't tell you whether it is the one thing or the other. I can only tell you what I have experienced, and that's what I can share with you. Sorry about that. I can't answer that. I can only tell you they are here and have been here for a very, very long time. About creating the world, well, there are many, 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 many worlds out there. Okay. So I don't know who created what. I only think when I think about God, God created the world. Whatever happened back then, I've not asked God about it. I just know it has always been here for a very long time. Okay, that's it. Sorry.
No, I say there's
Yeah,
no wrong or right. You know, it was just.
Yeah.
I'll come back to Joe's in a minute.
Yeah.
So I've got to get through these questions. Lee has also put, Heidi, have you also experienced the fourth kind, which is abduction, or is fourth kind just an encounter?
No, that's correctly. Well, I will say to you, sorry, did you say something?
No.
No. I can tell you, Lee, that I have experienced being on board on several crafts. I have never been abducted. I have always been there on my free will. Some people experience it kind of abduction because they don't remember they had talked to aliens before. That could be a lifetime since they have done so. They have maybe agreed with them to come on board, but some react very violently to it. Some are scared about it. But I have always, in my entire life, always been on my free will on board a craft. But that's correct. That's the fourth kind.
Joe's saying your English is
Thank you,
amazing.
Joe. Thank
I'm
you.
coming back to Joe's questions in a minute, okay? Because I just got to get
Yeah.
Lee's ones out the
Yeah.
way. Then I don't forget because the
Yeah.
screen's going pretty quickly. Heidi, have you had more active years with encounters than others? And if you have, why do you think that is? Has it become more active in the early years when you didn't have social media and means of complication, or has it been more active recently as people are more open and sharing their experiences?
Good question, Lee. Absolutely. I can tell you it has always, with me, it has always been active in another kind. It has been spiritually, it has been paranormally. So I have been on that journey since I was a little tiny baby. When I spoke to God for the first time when I was almost around 6 months old, baby. I have seen an alien when I was between 2 and 4 months old as well. So that's why I think I recognize them today, and that's why they feel like family. So I can. That's what I can tell you. It has been in my life. It has been active all the way through. There have been periods where I feel there's been a little silence, but in the silence period of time, you develop the most. Okay. So in between those experiences I have had, I developed spiritually and in the paranormal field as well. I have encountered in so many things throughout my life. So I can't tell you that it has been some period of times of my life. I think it is always going on and it will continue till I die. Okay. So for my view, it has always been active, no matter the silence period of time or whatever, because you develop all the time. Okay, I have, that's correct about the social media. It has exploded since the media came up because more people are no longer afraid of sharing their experiences, and that makes me happy because through the experiences people are sharing out there, we can learn from each other because we all of us walking the same path, no matter what lane we are walking. Okay, we're walking on the same path towards the goal, and that is to become one with God again. That's where we come from. That's all there is in our lives. That's all there is out there. And that's why we are we are dream state. I can't tell you that. That will be to another time. We could talk about that. Okay, but we have to realize who we really are. That's the journey we have in this lifetime. Some people are not aware of what they are doing here. They are just enjoying life and know nothing about the paranormal stuff or the spiritual stuff. They just live their lives. But I can tell you, I have a very active life, and it has been so all my life. That's what I can tell you, Lee. Okay.
That's a great answer. Straight answer. Right. I've got to go down. Right. Joe believes there's going to be a big spaceship appearing soon. I have inside knowledge good ETs are going to appear and end the big lies. I sort of have to agree with Joe there, but in a different sort of way. I do think that we are going to have some form of craft showing itself. I'm not too sure it's going to be this year, but I do feel that there'll be something. But I'm not on the side of what Joe is. It's sort of we go two different ways, but the same sort of thing, if that makes sense. I'm a big believer in Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
So I do think there will be some form of, craft. How that is portrayed to us, I don't know, but total disclosure coming very soon. Right, question for you, Heidi.
Yeah.
Why do you think you have been able to go on craft with three will? Is it because they are good ETs, an abduction unfortunates were abducted by bad ETs?
Well, there are some ETs that are here to explore the human body because their genes maybe have been damaged and they want to reproduce themselves. And that's why they use the human DNA to get a new life, as if you call that, so they can generate and become more alive again. That's what I think. There's some of the grays doing that. There's specific some who is doing that. Other grays are not doing that at all. They are just observing us and make sure we are all right in our journey through the life. Okay, and if it's good or bad, it depends on the person coming on board. Because if you feel you have been abducted through against your will, you will actually act towards it, right? You will have that, don't do that to me, or stop that, or don't do it. And they do what you call medical procedures on you and everything, right? But my kind of experience I have, as I told you from the beginning, the aliens have been with me since I was a baby. And I think for me, the aliens also is a family. I have that with humans, I had it with animals, and I have it with ghosts. I have it with aliens. We are one big family. That's what I feel in my heart. That's why I feel that I never been forced to be on board any craft. I was just delighted I could get on board because I can see what's happening on board a ship. I was actually on a very, very large one hovering above Earth. And the alien came to me on the balcony and just did that. Do you want to? Yeah, let me. Up I get. I get there and I just look, wow, that is huge. The room I was in was a ballroom like, and when I look out the window, I saw the entire North Pole of Earth. That is a huge craft. What it is and how it's there, it is there. I can tell you that. But when we will see them, Joe, I don't know. Okay. I know some people will say within the next couple of years. If you have heard of Bazaar, he's actually an extraterrestrial that is being going through a medium talking about what is going to happen to humans, what is going to happen when the aliens are here. And he talks a lot about it because he is an extraterrestrial coming through and talking to human beings. You can look that up. You could just write Bazaar and you can hear what he has to say if you like that. But I will always advise against all of that because always remember to feel inside of you what's right and wrong because you have that gift. You can feel what is right and wrong to you. Always follow that. Okay. It's your instinct and that's a good one. Yeah.
Joe's also followed up a question as well.
Yeah.
He's asking, what do you mean that you felt
Yeah.
animals as family? Would you explain?
It's the love, the unconditional love I have for things. I have the unconditional love for animals. I have that for nature. I have that for human beings. I have it for angels, for aliens, for everything. That's a born gift you have inside of you that you love everything. And when you have that love inside of you, you can't hate anything. It's impossible to hate when you have that gift of love inside of you. And we all have that gift of love inside of us. And we just have to listen to it. It's a love that does not want anything in return. You just give and give and give. And you love all that is around you. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but I have that feeling of love. I have never felt hatred towards anyone at all. Even them, or even those people who have hurt me badly, I have never hated them. I always loved them and I forgave them afterwards. Okay, it's a very kind. I can't explain it otherwise. Yeah, I can't explain it otherwise. That's family to me.
That's the
Yeah,
gentleman that
exactly,
you
Joe.
was Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gentleman.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this question. You know what Joe's like? Are you a vegetarian then, Heidi?
Well, I have been an eat meter for many, many, many years, but I am going towards more vegetables and stuff like that. I am, but I'm still, human beings have always eaten meat. It's not a crime. If you look into the Indian structure, what they did towards animals, they are offering the animal they eat because they have respect for the animal they kill. Okay, and if you have respect for what you ate, I think that's also a gift. You can pray about it. I still eat meat. I'm sorry about that, but I'm still eating meat. But it hurt me when I know that they are being killed so that I can eat them. Okay, but I am changing. Yeah.
I'm not apologising for eating meat. Sorry.
It's a circle of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you said about the Indian, they're eating it to survive and they're thanking him for keeping them alive.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Exactly, Paul.
You don't go around killing animals, then that's the complete wrong side if you're not going to
Exactly.
eat them. Yeah. Good
I
answer,
say,
Heidi.
Yeah.
I had the most loveliest beef casserole, beef and kidney. Oh, it was lovely with dumplings. Love it. Absolutely love it. You don't have to. I said, don't have to apologise. I have recently become a carnivore again. I struggle with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a circle of life. We have always eaten meat as far as go back as caveman times. So
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
me, I'm not changing the what do you call it? Gift of a lifetime, I suppose. I like me meat too much. Take
Yeah,
my
me
bacon
too.
sandwich away from me on a Saturday morning. Whoa. I just had duck pancakes. Oh, yeah. Saturday night.
Exactly, Joe. Right?
I'll wait another day. There was a question I asked. I wanted to ask you. Did you want to ask a question, Paul? Did you have anything to ask on?
No, you fire away, mate. Almost everything I wanted to ask, everyone else has asked. So
Well, I just write things down as I have to just squiggle it down.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with how I feel. See, I'm not a big advocate of abduction. I'm not a strong believer in it, as in how it's portrayed. I don't think they abduct the human body, so to speak. And when I listen to different abduction cases, and Ronnie Kinsella is one of them, and I think it's Ronnie or Philip, one of the two. I get them confused. They're twins. But he said he was abducted, and he described as he felt his body. He felt his body lifting from the bed. He felt it going through the walls, being lifted into the spacecraft. But as he looked back, his body was still there.
Mm-hmm.
So that, in my sort of psyche and how that works, it almost feels like they have an ability to either abduct, if you're going to use the word abduct, a spiritual inner, your spiritual being or your soul, for want of a phrase of some form, but not your physical body.
like astro travel or something like that.
Yeah, sort of, remote viewing astro, where you can place yourself there, but you're not there. And that's why I sort of asked you, when you said you was asked to go up to the spacecraft and you accepted that. Did your physical body go? So, for example, if your son come out and looked for you on the balcony, you're not there. Or
Okay. No, not in that case, because what happened was that when he came to show me, he just wanted to show me that. So I think I got there through my spirit instead. I was physical on the balcony. I was that. I know that because otherwise I would have felt everything in the room where I was, and I didn't. I was just shown that they were there for us. Okay. So I think they do what you say. They actually take our spirit there because they are able to do so. And they can show us stuff. But there are actually people who are lifted from the ground up in the air into the spacecraft where they do those kind of experiments. But I don't know whether it's good or bad, because sometimes they have done so to help you. Sometimes people are coming back, they are suddenly more brilliant in their mind, suddenly more physical, moving about, because maybe they have a need that was bad. It was been uh, looked after up in the craft. So sometimes people maybe react to it badly, but when they come down, they actually experience something good has happened to them. They have evolved while they were being there. Okay. And I think there are people who actually have been there with their body as well. You have heard of the stories where they see people have been stuck up in a craft. That's some of the stories out there, where the friends have seen their friend being sucked up in a UFO. So I think there are bodies that have been there, but because what I have experienced, I have been there myself. I have been there in my dreams. I have been there when I'm awake. I can see it when they ask me, when they're standing in front of me and say, Heidi, will you like to see? Yeah, then I am there. It's like when you see, well, you can be there. That's what I call the what is called biolocation, as I told you. You can be several places at one time, and that's what you can do with your body. When you do, you evolve more and more with your physical body. You are able to be several places on Earth on the same time. You will experience that. That's what we all do. We are able to do that. If I like to be in Africa, I will go to Africa. I haven't tried, but I think we can do that, because that's what it has showed me that we are able to do. And I would love to not fly in an aircraft. I would like to fly myself. I would like to see myself go to the other country and be there and be in the city I would like to visit. When I reach that state, I would love to come back and tell you about that. Okay. But I don't know when that will happen. But I know that we have the capability. We are very, very great, because when you realize who you really are, oh my God, you open up to everything that is. If you become what I call the more conscious visualizer and manifest in your life, that is what's going on in my life now. That's what has happened the last couple of months, actually. Then you will realize things, but you have known before is much, much more electrified. It's renewed. You see things differently in another light. We will call it when you evolve, right? And I have learned that you can do so. I have elevated. I have lifted off the ground and flying around in circles. I have done so when I was a child. So why not do that as an adult as well? I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to
Mm.
be Peter Pan again.
Yeah, guys. You would like to be Peter Pan. Yeah,
Yeah,
me
you know,
too.
thank you, Ryan. I would be nice and
Yeah.
young again. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, I do get it. I do get it, but
Yeah.
everything that's described to me is in an
Mm.
abduction state, just like what
Yeah.
Paul sort of not said, but sort of hinted at there was astro travel. It
Yeah.
all sounds
Exactly.
like to me that your physical being stays
Yeah.
exactly where it is,
Yeah.
but something within you
Yeah.
does go.
Yeah.
Joe says, I think the people of Nome, Alaska will disagree with you in
Oh
abductions.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
once again, I can guarantee you the next abduction in Nome, Alaska would be exactly the same as the
Yeah.
last 30. They're all so predictable and also the same.
Yeah.
To me, it's yeah. I'm not sold on abduction as the word as how maybe Hollywood has portrayed it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're probably looking at 1, 2, maybe 5% are actual abductions. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, physically. I mean, when you was talking about that, Heidi,
Yeah.
I remember stories, people that say they physically went there, and
Yeah.
there's been a couple of occasions where they've had terminal illnesses, and yet they've come
Exactly.
back completely cured. Like when you
Yeah.
said, they're not there to harm you. Sometimes they're there to help you, and they've come
Exactly.
back And I mean, obviously, you're just taking their word for it. But I do remember them stories.
Yeah. You could read a book that Preston Dennett has written. It's called 300 Encounters Where People Have Been Healed by Aliens. He has
Oh,
written a book about it. And that's a research he has done. There's people he had interviewed and talked to. That's over 300 cases in that book alone where people
wow.
have been healed. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wish they'd come and get me and sort my knee out. So
Yeah, right?
I just,
Please come and get and take
yeah,
all that
yeah,
extra fat I
just-
have. So please.
I'll leave a note on the door. You know, like all the kids stick Santa signs outside their door,
Yeah,
like Santa stop here. I'll stick a
exactly.
door, you know, ET stop here, sort my knee out.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to just move on to the next bit, okay? It's
Yeah.
more of a question that I think sort of Paul wants to sort of ask. I know Joe's got a question there, sort of linking it all together.
Yeah.
You used the word God, okay,
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know, looking at all, you know, all your sort of experiences here, there's quite a strong link to the word God, okay?
Yeah.
So on terms of the biblical sense, okay, and I know you've probably heard me speak about this many times on the show. So I'm just going to ask you the simple question here: is your God, who you use as the word as terminology as God,
Yeah.
is it along the lines of a biblical sense of God?
Well, it started like that when I was a little girl, a tiny, tiny little girl, because when God came to me, when I was a 6 months old baby, he talked to me as I remember that on another level. I just knew it was him. And how can a child remember that when you are only 6 months old? How do you know that it actually is God that you are talking to? I knew, and I was only 6 months old. It was God. That was the source, the frequency. And the alien actually says about God. I know that um, I also seen interactions between aliens and God as well because I asked about it. So I was also allowed to see that happen. Okay. And I can tell you that how I see God is he is the main frequency of it all. He is the greatest there is. He's the highest. You can call it the higher realm. You can call it the higher self. You can call it many things. For God, for me, is not one sitting in the clouds. No, no, it's not. It's an energy. It's an energy that's there for all of us, that is within us. And that's the creating things inside your life. When you attach yourself to that, you become God yourself, actually. And that is what he's actually saying, that you are God yourself. You just need to realize who you really are. You come from that energy and you go to that energy. The highest frequency ever existed is the smallest atom out there, is also the biggest that's all out there as well. I see it as an energy. And of course, I saw the movies about Jesus and I saw God and everything. And I was touched in my heart every time I saw that. God has manifested himself to me so clearly when I was only 6 months old. And to be 6 months old and realize he is God talking to you, that's amazing, because to be able to do that when you are that little, then you know something. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so, so I have to ask the question. So when you
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
he come to you,
Yeah.
okay, are we talking about this stereotypical God, long hair, or was it just a? Do you know, for me, I get what you. For me, that
Yeah.
sounds just like how I feel with it.
Yeah.
Do I feel? I'm not necessarily a believer in the biblical sense of God.
No.
Okay, I
Yeah.
believe God is a word given to a creator. For all
Mm.
intents and purposes, God I could call Bob or Dave
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Stephen,
Yeah.
you know, but he was a or he or she or whatever you want to call it was the creator and the person that I pray to, but not in a biblical sense.
No.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes sense. because I have seen it from both sides about that. But for me, God is energy. God is the all creating thing that is out there, the only thing that's actually out there. Okay. That's what the alien says as well. God is all there is. What we call God as human, they call all there is.
And
That's how
it
they
may have
say it.
not even been a person, so to speak.
They call it
No,
in this energy
Yeah,
frequency. It's a
that,
highest frequency out
yeah.
there.
that's probably the
Universe.
best explanation
Yeah.
of God I've
Yeah.
heard there.
You had a question, Paul. So
Mm.
Yeah, no, I did, but I kind of know where it's going to lead after that. I mean, after listening to you through the show, Heidi, I mean
Yeah.
that was probably the best explanation of God I've heard. But I always thought when I was reading through some of the stories you sent through,
Yeah.
and there was one about the God and the alien having a conversation about your health,
Yeah.
and straight away my head went to, because with everything that we do, we come across different stories and bits and pieces, and they reckon that we're a hybrid species
Yeah.
ourselves. There's something in our DNA that says we shouldn't really be surviving on this planet, as in we was created on this planet. You know, we're the only species on this planet that can't survive in the sun straight away, can't survive in the cold straight away. We have to have some sort of artificial synthetic covering or something to help us. And when it come to, I think you've said in one of your stories before that although God showed Himself to you when you was a child, a very
Yeah.
young child,
Yeah.
He also said that, or the alien was with you in previous lifetimes.
Yes. Yes.
So my head went to the place, well, if we are kind of a hybrid species that was put here from a supreme being or an alien intelligence, is that our God? Is that our visitors from the heavens that's put us here? And but after listening to this show, that description you just gave, and the difference, and how you know in your feeling of the
Yeah.
frequencies, I was going to say, could it be one of the same? But after listening to you speak, I clearly know that it's not.
But
But that's where my head went with it, you know.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, I think about God, we need to experience ourselves. We need to go the way out and find out who we really are. Because when you find out who you really are, you know what it is.
mm,
That's what I can tell you. So I can only tell you the unconditional love He gives me. I am actually almost floating in the air every time it hits me inside. Every time I talk to Him, I can feel the love that is so strong, absolutely so strong. You know, the love of a mother to a child is very strong. It's a very strong bond, right? And if you multiply that at least 1,000 times, you can feel the unconditional love from God inside of yourself.
it's yeah, it's very apt. And I think it's the word rather than the meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
see,
and
I think
Yeah,
sometimes. Sorry, go on.
so and that's sometimes where I struggle with the word God. And I
yeah.
know I made a joke of it by calling him Bob, Dave, and Stephen, but
No, it's
it
okay.
doesn't matter what you call this energy of higher being. I
Yes,
just think it's
exactly.
because we are sort of brought up to learn about God. We have been given a book that is dedicated to the biblical sense.
Yeah,
So I think that's why we use the word God. If we go back all them years and the word Bob was replaced by God in the Bible,
yeah,
we would be calling him Bob now
yeah.
instead of God. So I do get it. I do get it. And I think we all sort of see it in a slightly different way. But as I say, we all start at the bottom, but we all go our different pathways, but we all end up at the
Oh,
same point.
exactly. Exactly.
And I think
It's
that's
all about
how,
interpretation, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah,
Interpretation, especially when it comes to the Bible. When after you start putting pieces together, because I did hear a theory that, like you say, God is around you. You know, lift was it split a piece of wood, lift a rock. I am
exactly.
all around you. And
Yeah.
when they say that, you know, I think it's your vertebrae or something. There's 33. God was 33 when he passed the freeze and the freeze, and it all lines up until the heavens. You know,
Yeah.
this is your God particle, basically, isn't it? Your brain, and you know what I mean. And when they say it all comes together, you are God, and when you feel that
Yeah.
that's where it comes from, it's
Yeah.
basically some people have interpreted the Bible and just saying not so much the rules and how you should live and this and that, but when you break it down, it's telling you you are God. He is
Exactly.
you. So no, it makes sense. It makes even
Mm.
more sense the way you describe it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw a Joe question at you now, Heidi.
No worries.
This is a total Joe question, but it's two questions in one. Okay, but
Yeah.
I've got
Okay.
to put them both on the different screen. All right. So,
Okay.
he's asking, do you believe the Bible is true, or has
Uh,
it been severely manipulated?
well, I always thought about the Bible. Well, there's a lot of stories in the Bible to learn us how to react in the right way, to learn about what is right and what is wrong. There is a Bible out there that are more close to the truth and not. The one we have has been manipulated over the years. There have been too many hands on writing the stories down. And if you sit there and you want to have your go on one of the stories, that will go and get into the Bible as well. I think, well, the Bible is a good book. It is. Trust me on that. It is. But I will also say, I think it has been manipulated over the years. That's my point of view. Okay. And I actually read the Bible when I was a young girl. And I loved reading it and I understood what it was saying. Okay. But it learned me how to react, how to be a good girl. Okay. But there is stories out there. Jesus actually has been living. He has been a prophet. He has been the one showing us what way we have to go with ourselves to understand ourselves, to be the love we actually are in ourselves, and has been misunderstood all the way and still is today. He is love. Jesus is love. God is love. We are all love. Okay. And I think the Bible has been, yeah, it has been, in my opinion, manipulated over the years. Yeah, sorry about them, because I have read the Bible and it's a good book. Okay.
As I say, as you say, there's been a lot of hands. It's been
Yeah.
translated in a lot of many different times. It only takes some person to, as you say, want to put something in it that they want.
Yeah.
You know, we
Exactly.
have hidden chapters, don't we? I
Mm,
believe we've got hidden
mm,
parts of the Bible that don't
Yeah,
been
yeah.
taken away. So, but I also feel that the 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 Bible itself, as we have today, is also a little bit like a Da Vinci Code cryptid clue.
yeah.
And I think the bits that haven't been changed, I think you have to rip it apart. And
Yeah.
certain bits, I do think have stayed the test of time by these powers to be, so to
Yeah.
speak, whoever makes it, because I think that is your cryptid clue to life. As I say, I believe the Bible was created to give people a journey of life,
Yeah.
to give them a structure of how life should be.
Yeah.
Love thy neighbor, and gives you a purpose. It gives a purpose and sense of almost a guidance
Yeah.
to.
It is a guidance. It is a
Um,
guidance. Yeah.
but as I said, I'm not here to sort of rip apart the Bible. That's not
No.
what I'm doing. I don't understand it, so it's above and beyond my protocol in brain capacity as far as I'm concerned. And that's not to say that's wrong or right, but I think at some point, someone like Mickey who studies the Bible,
Yeah.
and I think he has found the cryptid codes within that Bible.
Absolutely.
As in,
Absolutely.
there's certain chapters,
Yeah.
a chapter could be like, for example, 52 pages long, but it could just be one single verse that you are looking for that is the
Exactly.
true meaning of that. But it gives you,
Exactly.
that's how I see the Bible. I think you
Yeah.
have to be a certain person to be able to, dig deep into how it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got a brain capacity of that, to be fair.
Mm.
And
Mikey is doing a absolutely great job
Yeah.
related to the Bible, and I truly respect what he does. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 the Bible could just say we're all extensions of God instead of
Yeah.
portraying God as a power beyond us and watching out for our behaviour to punish.
Yeah. Why punish?
Yeah,
We only punish ourselves. Actually,
Yeah.
what is what we do? We punishing ourselves. It's not God punishing. It's ourselves doing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I think the world that we are living in at the moment, I think once again, I think it will all come down to some form of religion at the moment in the world that we live in. There's a sort
Yeah.
of an underlined battle between that, isn't it? Between religions throughout the world at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Right, I've got one more question. I thought we might overrun by a couple of minutes, guys,
Oh,
but
no
I
worries.
have got one more question. I just want to throw at you, Heidi,
Yeah, please.
and to round it off. Paul, have you got any questions before I ask
No,
this one?
no, you fire away, mate.
I would just like to know, what is your most recent experience?
Oh, wow. I have a lot recent experiences.
The last one that you've had.
What was the last one I wrote in my book? Yeah, that's about how we transform ourselves. Actually, it was a gift given by God. I was actually sitting here at my desk, and I was outside my body, and I stood there looking at myself, sitting here writing, okay? And behind me, God was, and He had put His hands inside me like He was acting through me like that. He showed me that. And what he actually meant by that was that we will become more closed, that we will become more one. That's what he showed me. That was absolutely fantastic to see, because I have learned a saying that is when you visualize things and say things in your life, but when you repeat things in your life, it actually happens. What you think will become true. When you think stuff, you can actually create stuff, okay? Because you are the creator yourself inside of you. And that is what I actually felt in this moment. I felt I was one with God, and I will become one with God when I die. I'm not unsure on that at all. I know I will be. What he showed me is that I'm actually very close now to become more one with God, actually. And it's amazing to see that. I really have written it down in the book. What the saying goes that I started to use, is that my higher self, God, and my physical mind are aligned. When you do that, then you become one with God, and you will actually live and experience what God has for you and what He wants you to do and what you want to have in your life. And I also learned through that experience that what you focus on, you need to focus on the positive things in life. What do you want to have in your life that you need to focus on, not the negative stuff? Because if you focus on that, you will get negative stuff in your life. So focus on positive things. That is what God has shown me lately. That's it. And so think it and you can create it. That's the one. And I actually called one chapter in my next book that. Yeah. That's what the latest one was. Exactly.
Beautifully put.
Beautifully put. It is lovely. It is such a fantastic way to put it. We put what we want in our way.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Yeah.
if we put our minds to it and what we actually want in our journey, I won't say life, because I think it's
Never ending, mate. Energies cannot be created or destroyed.
Exactly. It's the
So-
energy. And if
And
you put an emotion to it as well, when you wish for something positive, then you can have create it, because the emotion is the most important thing. You should feel it. You should feel you are there, what you want to. Then you can create it. Maybe it will take time, but you will create it. Okay, that's what he had learned. But that's what I have learned so far. What he has shown me. Yeah,
Joe's words say, his word is love, not fear, in my opinion. Great
exactly.
interview, Heidi. You are blessed. Amazing
Thank you.
experiences.
Thank you.
Sandra's put, thank you,
Thank you,
Heidi.
Sandra. Yeah.
So, Heidi,
Mm?
I'm going to let you have the final words of the show. So,
Oh.
if you've got anything to say,
Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm just happy I've been here again talking to you guys, and say hello to everyone out there as well. Thank you so much for having me here, guys. I love it. And I hope you will look into my books if you like. I will hope you will do that. If I
how do
can
people
help.
find your books, Heidi?
Oh, they can find me on Amazon, because just look up author Heidi Elizabeth Hansen. You can exactly, that's book number 3, and my book number 4 is in the making. So it will not take long time before that one is also available. I also have a beautiful book called Gems of Wisdom. You should look into that as well, because that's more into the God-line experiences that I have, miracles happening in my life all over the years. And I also have the series that Russell just showed you, A Life with Supernatural Events. You can look that up as well, and you will find my books. I have a website, godinspired.one as well, and you can write to me as well if you like. Just put down Heidi.Hansen9 at gmail.com. You are more than welcome to contact me if you like to talk to me. Okay. Yeah.
So, go
And
and
thank you so much for having me, guys.
no,
Thanks for coming on, Heidi. It's been a pleasure.
it's
Yeah,
absolutely a great pleasure, Heidi. It
Yeah.
really has. So, guys, it's left for me to say, Heidi, just stay there.
Yeah.
Don't disappear just yet.
Yeah.
But I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for joining us tonight. I think it has been a lovely, lovely interview. So in depth. Your experiences are second to none. And they have such meaning as well. There's almost every experience that you have comes with an enlightenment of ending.
Yeah.
So it always has a purpose.
Mm.
And I think as what Joe just said there, in my opinion, great interview, you are blessed. I think you have a word, you have a voice that needs to be heard. I think you settle people's life journeys down and give a new meaning to it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Whatever is going on in your journey, and I know it hasn't been easy over the last few years, and
No.
you've had your ups and downs, but
Yeah.
you've never let it bother you.
No.
And I mean, people don't realise what Heidi's been through over the last few years of her life.
Exactly.
I'm quite close to Heidi off of this show. So we do know her. I know her journey and where she's been, and where she's, in the dark days, and you've been pulled through with,
Yeah.
one of a better phrase, the power of God,
Yeah. Exactly.
the power of the universe in
Mhm.
my eyes, and the power of Bob in some
Yeah.
other people's minds. All right. No, I
Yeah.
thank you ever so much for joining us tonight, Heidi. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Joa says, keep baking them superb dishes.
Oh,
I
God,
will. I will, Joe.
So yeah, you make my mouth water every time.
Yeah,
You put
I was about to say that.
you know.
Salivating every time you see them
Yeah.
posted. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
Carry a
the
pigeon one of them
that
dishes
said
over.
for me, it's when I'm
Yeah.
on a late shift at work and I can't have any dinner just yet. And I'm sitting there starving hungry and I'm flicking through Facebook and there comes up, like a nice cream cake or something. I'm like, no, what are you doing to me?
I'm sorry about that.
But no, I just want to say, I better say, Paul, have you got any more that you want to add to anything?
No,
Before we
no.
end?
I've been a bit in awe, to be fair. I've met you, I've known you, I've listened to you, I watched your first show on this show.
Yeah.
So I do kind of know what you're all about, but just listening to you talk there, it kind of, I understood it with what's going on in my life as well. So it was quite personal to me, just listening to your examples of how you live your life and how you feel your energies are and things like that. And
Yeah.
I thought it was quite beautiful, to be fair. No, thank you very much for coming on. Really enjoyed it.
Me too. I really love being here. Absolutely.
So that's all left for me to say is, guys, we shall be back next week. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. And once again, Heidi, thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you for all our wonderful watchers, listeners that have joined us tonight. Stay safe, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for everybody that has joined us over on Facebook and YouTube tonight. You've been absolute great. Thank you for all your lovely questions, all your comments that have come in. As I say, it helps the show flow. It didn't need much flow tonight because we just had just an experience of a lifetime. So I think that says ciao. Ciao.
Yeah. Ciao, Italian. Yeah.
Show's got all Italian on us tonight.
Yeah. It's Italian.
I just know is Golazzo. That's all I know in Italian. Just remember from Italian 90.
Yeah.
So thank you ever so much, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.